Most people have a retirement plan that consists of one dangerous silent assumption. That assumption is that they will figure it out sometime before they absolutely have to. The average American retires at 62 years old with less than 100,000 saved. That number sounds significant until you realize it runs out in approximately 4 years of living. Early retirement is not a lottery ticket, and it is not reserved for six-figure earners only. It is a math problem, and every math problem has a solution if you know the formula. Today, I am going to give you 3 completely separate roadmaps for 3 completely different income levels: $50,000 a year, $100,000 a year, and $250,000 a year. Find your number, follow that roadmap, and by the end of this video, you will have a plan. Not a vague direction, not general motivation, an actual specific executable plan built around your real income. But before we get into the 3 roadmaps, I need to tell you something that changes everything first. Early retirement has nothing to do with how much you earn, and everything to do with one ratio. That ratio is the gap between what you earn and what you actually spend every single month. A person earning $50,000 and spending $35,000 is closer to retirement than most people realize. A person earning $250,000 and spending $230,000 is essentially financially trapped permanently. The size of your paycheck determines your speed, but your savings rate determines whether you ever actually arrive. Keep that idea in your mind because it is the foundation every single roadmap in this video sits on. Now let us talk about the number you actually need before you can retire early at any income. Financial independence researchers use a framework called the 4% rule to calculate your retirement target number precisely. The rule states you can safely withdraw 4% of your investment portfolio annually without ever running out of money. That means your target retirement number equals your annual expenses multiplied by exactly 25 to get there. If you spend $30,000 per year, you need $750,000 invested to retire completely safely. If you spend $50,000 per year, you need $1.25 million invested to retire safely. If you spend $80,000 per year, you need $2 million invested before you can stop working entirely. Write down your current annual spending and multiply it by 25 right now before continuing any further today. That number is your personal financial independence number, and everything in your roadmap points directly toward hitting it. Now let us get into roadmap number 1 for the $50,000 salary earner starting right now today. If you earn $50,000 annually, your take-home pay after federal and state taxes is roughly $38,000. That equals approximately $3,167 arriving in your bank account every single month. The first and most important decision you make at this income level determines everything that follows it completely. You must live on no more than $2,200 monthly and treat that ceiling as completely non-negotiable. That leaves roughly $967 every single month available for saving and investing consistently. $967 monthly invested at a historical market, returns of 8% build to $400,000 in 15 years. At that point, your portfolio generates passive income that begins supplementing and eventually replacing your earned income entirely over time. Now here's the specific allocation that makes this work at the $50,000 income level practically and realistically. First priority is capturing every single dollar of your employer's 401k match immediately and completely without exception. If your employer matches 3% of salary, that is $1,500 free dollars annually, you cannot afford to leave behind. Second priority is opening and maxing a Roth IRA, which allows $7,000 annually in 2026 to grow tax-free. Third priority is every remaining dollar goes into a low-cost index fund inside a taxable brokerage account monthly automatically. At 50,000, the biggest wealth building lever is not investment selection. It is ruthless and intentional housing cost control. Housing should consume no more than 28% of your gross income, which equals $1,167 monthly maximum. If you live in a high-cost city, the single constraint may require a roommate, a smaller unit, or a different neighborhood entirely. That decision is uncomfortable, but it is the single most powerful financial move available to a $50,000 earner today. A dental hygienist named Corey earned $49,000 annually in Columbus, Ohio, and felt early retirement was completely unrealistic personally. He moved from a solo apartment at $1,200 monthly to a 2-bedroom shared situation at $675 monthly instead. That $525 monthly difference invested consistently from age 28 built to over $400,000 by age 45. Corey did not increase his income once during that entire period and retired from his primary job at 46 years old. The 50,000 roadmap is slower, but it is completely real, and the math has been proven repeatedly by actual people living it. If you are a 50,000 earner and this is landing for you, please subscribe before we move to Roadmap 2. Because Roadmap 2 has a completely different set of priorities and a dramatically different timeline attached to it for you. Roadmap number 2 is for the $100,000 salary earner, and this is where most people get it dangerously wrong. Most people who cross $100,000 in salary treat it as permission to finally live the life they imagine. Nicer apartment, newer car, better restaurants, upgraded wardrobe, premium everything, because they finally quote-unquote earned it and deserve it now. This is the exact moment when the high income poverty trap springs shut and most people never even feel it closing. A Goldman Sachs report from 2025 found 41% of Americans earning over $300,000 live paycheck to paycheck. The pattern starts at $100,000 when lifestyle expansion first becomes genuinely easy and socially encouraged by everyone around you. At $100,000, your take home after taxes lands at approximately $72,000 annually or $6,000 monthly net. Your early retirement target on reasonable spending of $55,000 annually is $1.375 million total. At a 20% savings rate, you invest $14,400 annually into your investment accounts every year. At 8% average returns, that savings rate hits your $1.375 million target in approximately 22 years. Start at 28 and you retire comfortably at 50, which most Americans would consider genuinely and meaningfully early retirement. But here's where the 100,000 earner has a weapon. The 50,000 earner simply does not possess yet. Every additional percentage point of savings rate at this income level cuts months off your retirement timeline, not just weeks. Going from 20% savings to 25% savings at 100,000 salary moves your retirement date by nearly 3 years earlier. Going from 20% to 30% moves your retirement date by approximately 5.5 years earlier than projected. The 100,000 earner does not need a higher salary to retire dramatically earlier than their peers ever will. They need to resist the cultural pressure to spend like someone earning 100,000 is supposed to spend publicly. A project manager named Valerie earned 104,000 in her mid-30s and felt genuinely behind financially somehow. Her colleagues drove leased luxury vehicles, took international vacations twice annually, and renovated their condos every few years without hesitation. Valerie drove a 7-year-old paid-off sedan, took one domestic trip yearly, and kept her apartment for 6 years straight. While her colleagues spent their raises, Valerie invested every single raise she received for 9 consecutive years without exception once. At 44 years old, Valerie crossed $900,000 in her investment portfolio, with a clear path to 7 figures shortly. Her colleagues at the same income level averaged less than $150,000 in total net worth at identical ages. Same salary, same years working, completely different financial destinies built entirely from one repeated decision made consistently over time. The 100,000 roadmap works when you treat your pre-raised lifestyle as permanently sufficient and invest every dollar above it always. Now, let us move to roadmap 3 for the $250,000 earner. And this one has a unique trap inside it. At $250,000, most people assume the retirement question is basically already answered and they just need to wait patiently. The reality is that 250,000 earners face the most psychologically dangerous retirement threat of all three income groups today. The threat is called reference group inflation, and it is the reason high earners frequently retire later than moderate earners do statistically. When you earn $250,000, your social circle earns $250,000 and spends accordingly without any restraint shown. Private school tuition, second homes, business class flights, luxury vehicles, country club memberships, and premium everything become the invisible social baseline. Each individual expense feels proportional to your income, and collectively, they consume every dollar of your significant financial advantage completely. At $250,000, your take-home after federal, state, and payroll taxes lands at approximately $158,000 annually. Your monthly net income is approximately $13,167, arriving reliably every single month of the year. If your annual spending sits at $120,000, your financial independence number is $3 million invested and compounding. A 30% savings rate at this income means investing $47,400 annually into your wealth building accounts. At 8% average annual returns, that savings rate reaches $3 million in approximately 23 years from starting date. But here is the accelerator that makes $250,000 genuinely powerful when used with actual intention and discipline consistently. Maxing every available tax-advantaged account first reduces your taxable income dramatically and increases your effective investment capacity simultaneously every year. 401k maximum contribution in 2026 is $23,500 annually before employer match is added. Health savings account maximum for a family in 2026 is $8,300, growing completely tax-free always. A backdoor Roth IRA adds another $7,000 annually in tax-advantaged growth available to high earners specifically at this level. Together, those three accounts shelter $38,800 annually from taxation, while building your retirement portfolio simultaneously every year. A corporate attorney named Brandon earned $260,000 and had been working for 11 years with only $300,000 saved. His lifestyle had expanded in perfect proportion to every raise he received across his entire 11-year career without a single exception. Private school for 2 children, a $4,000 monthly mortgage, 2 leased vehicles, and 4 international trips annually, consuming his full income completely. Brandon hired a fee-only financial planner who showed him a single number that permanently changed how he thought about his spending entirely. At his current savings rate, Brandon would work until he was 68 years old despite earning a top 5% American income. Brandon restructured completely over 18 months, moved children to public school, sold 1 vehicle outright, and reduced travel to 1 annual trip. His savings rate jumped from 4% to 31%, and his projected retirement date moved from 68 to 51 years old. 17 years returned to his life from a series of uncomfortable but completely reversible decisions he made with full information available. The $250,000 roadmap requires confronting the lifestyle that income enables versus the lifestyle that actually serves your future self. Now, I want to pull all three roadmaps together because there is one universal truth running through every single income level here. The retirement timeline is not determined by your salary, it is determined by the gap between your salary and your spending always. A 50,000 earner saving 30% retires earlier than a 250,000 earner saving 5% every single time. The math on this is not debatable, and it does not care about your income bracket, your zip code, or your career title. There are three universal moves that accelerate early retirement at every single income level regardless of where you are starting from today. Move number one is automating your investments, so the money moves before you ever have a chance to spend it elsewhere first. When saving requires a conscious monthly decision, willpower eventually loses and the money finds somewhere else to go instead always. When saving is automated, it happens without friction, and your spending brain never gets a chance to redirect those dollars away. Move number two is calculating your actual financial independence number today and writing it somewhere you will see it regularly every week. Abstract goals produce abstract behavior, and specific numbers produce specific intentional decisions every single time without exception across every income level. Move number three is increasing your savings rate by 1 additional percentage point every single time your income increases for any reason. Your lifestyle never feels the 1% difference, but your retirement date moves measurably earlier with every single incremental increase applied consistently. Here is the final thing I want to leave you with before you close this video and return to your daily routine today. Early retirement is not about hating work or escaping responsibility. It is about building the financial freedom to choose completely on your own terms. The 50,000 earner who starts today at 28 has a realistic path to financial independence before 50 years old entirely. The 100,000 earner who resists lifestyle inflation has a realistic path to retirement before 50 years old completely as well. The 250,000 earner who treats their income as a wealth building tool retires before 50 with significant generational wealth built. The roadmap exists at every income level, and the only question left is whether you are going to actually start walking it today.